Welcome back to the Tailosive Tech Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to say we do read the comments. We have listened. You've asked where he's gone. We finally brought him back. It only took 4 months or so.
Yeah,
it took
4
a while.
months, I think. Yeah. I was
But
lost
thank you
out
so
there.
much.
But thankfully, I had the new iPhone 14 Pro with the cellular connection to the satellites, and I was able to get unlost, and we were able to find me. Hey, guys. I'm back.
We found him. He's been wandering the woods for months, and we really appreciate you making the time to join us today, Nick. It's been a long time. I've barely been able to chat, like, in video form, at least, like this, with you, so we should just kick off. Oh, and Randy's back. Thanks for joining us, too, Randy. We missed you as well.
Wow. Yeah. Last time I saw you was in person.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah, it was great catching up with you, and I had a good time, even though it was short-lived, but we had great in-person talks. It was refreshingly non-work related to not have to record or anything. We just hung out. That was good. But can we just start the show with asking, Nick, how you been? How's life? How are you doing?
Nick.
Well, I appreciate you catching up with me. Did I go get a bottle of ketchup out of my cupboard just to make this joke? Yes. Did it land? No. Is it still objectively funny? Yes. I don't know. Put it away.
It didn't land for a 14th time.
Ooh. iPhone joke? I'm doing well.
That was a
Thanks for
Falcon 9
asking.
joke. I was hoping you were going to get it.
Oh, gosh. Whoa. Yeah, that is 14, huh?
You put Nick in the,
Our fleet leader is 14.
You put him in the
I get it now.
Apple headspace. He's not thinking about that stuff right now.
I'm not even thinking about what's
He's
behind
got a
me
shift.
right now.
There's a
not
gear
even thinking.
shifter for Nick, and it's
shaped like a
has
starship. It's just like a little baby little starship.
Switch to tech space. So you've been good? Holding up?
I've been well. Been holding up. Been traveling a lot. Been seeing a lot of cool places. Meeting a lot of fun people. Hanging out with good friends. It's been a lot of fun. But much more excited to be back and talking about the most important thing on
Nick,
our calendar.
Wait,
in any
before we
year.
get there, I
What's
got a
up?
question for you.
Okay, what's up?
I represent everybody else. Why did we fire you for Mike?
Well, I don't remember getting a termination letter.
That's
Oh,
what I've
you
been
didn't
telling
get that?
them.
Oh, I didn't. Toby
It must have got sent to
Any
must
day
have got sent
now,
to the
you'll
old
see.
address.
Oh God, no.
Nick, wait, I'm not
know.
watching the show until Nick comes back. Da 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 da.
Well, welcome
We're gonna
back,
get a
3
huge
viewers who
uptick.
left.
Can you imagine this is our most watched episode since pre-Dub? That would be weird.
This will beat
Well,
the Marquez interview.
I fully expect so, because I'm going to pimp this episode out as best as I can. I'm going to be out there at Starbase handing out people 8.5 by 11 flyers with a QR code of this episode.
Here's what I
it's just
used
a
to
giant-
do every day, or every, whatever. You get it. Here's what I.
Here's what I used to. This is what I love to do. But
I
rockets.
got a question. Okay, I got a real question for you though, Nick. Your time away. Before we get into obviously, what
Far out.
what this is about. Yeah.
Yes.
Your time away from the podcast. Which no, we didn't fire Nick. Anybody? We didn't replace him. We did nothing. He just, friends support friends endeavors. That's what that is. And
That's right.
that's what. So, but we
I love
also
you
said
guys.
he come back whenever he wants, and he literally. This is because of Nick. So, my question
Yes,
for you, Nick.
and I also have to say thank you for making Saturday work as a recording day as opposed to
That's fine.
Friday, because I cannot make Fridays work.
Believe
Thank
me, actually, I much prefer this. I much rest on my throat as possible. I am recovering from dying. Well, Drew said anything
Welcome
post
back.
2020 when you get a cough, you have COVID. So I'm recovering from my
Recoviding.
So Nick, so my question is, all this time away from the podcast, all this time away from tech, or consumer tech, I guess more specifically, are you the same Nick people remember you as, or are we seeing some new 2.0, whatever? What kind of Nick do we
Evolved.
have? Do we have the guy who's going to jump around, throw his AirPods on the floor? Do we got that guy, or do we got this refined Starship guy now? No.
He's
No.
he's getting ready to throw
Eats
stuff.
the AirPods. No.
I want to get before we just talk about the items themselves. What Nick do we have?
To answer your question there, Andy, I don't think I'm different, but I'm sure everyone who's going to listen to my opinions and thoughts here, including Scott, who I do talk to fairly regularly, he thinks I'm very different and that Starship has corrupted my soul. But I don't know. I think I'm still the same person. I'm still interested in technology, and I'm still passionate about it. My interest has definitely shifted more to the camera space because, that's now my job. So the whole consumer tech thing is still exciting, and I'm interested in it, but it's a little bit less like obsessive, I guess. I'd maybe put it that way.
So
I'm
we'll find out
obsessing
by the
over
end of
other
the episode if you are actually
so
the same person.
in the comments
We'll
on
assess.
YouTube, let us know how much I've changed, and if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, give us a rating and make sure you tell everyone how good of a guest I am on the show that I started.
If this
way
video
back
gets
when.
enough views and enough likes and enough engagement, maybe Nick might feel incentivized to come back. Up to you guys. Nick, last question before we get into
Smash
products.
that unsubscribe button and dislike the.
Smash that dislike button.
So I got one more,
What's up,
and then
Randy?
I'm then I'm done. Okay, so you think that maybe less fixated on certain specifics, but you feel like you're still the same person. If you are the same Nick and Sweeney that we've had, then why do you hate us?
Primarily, it was Drew's voice and your glasses,
That's fair.
Randy. Those were the two big reasons. Wow!
picked
Oh
out
my gosh!
these
I want to
frames.
join now. Whoa! I did.
These frames.
Oh my gosh! No,
Picked them because he hated them.
genuinely miss you guys, and I have been missing you guys. And I know we've tried to make this work a couple other times, but via scheduling, it just didn't work out. And
I'm just teasing you.
I know, but I want to tell. I know there are people out there who have been missing me as well, who want to.
That's why I'm forcing that way. So I'm kind of guiding your responses for these people who think that we're the next drama alert. Or
Randy is
something.
your hater liaison.
Actually, I should spin this up. So actually, Tailosive Tech, this guy, I did some work for him, and he was a really mean guy, and he said some mean things about me in a private Discord somewhere, and I got really offended. And so
You said you wouldn't talk
this
about
is this
that.
bunch of drama. This is
was in
the
the
this is the
contract.
tell-all. This is the tell-all episode.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
wrote a
gosh,
whole
I'm
song
totally
about
joking.
it, Nick. I don't know how quiet more I'm supposed to be about it. You suck. That's what it is.
Oh, and some guy wrote a song about me. Actually, that's where this all started. I still have that song on my phone and it plays sometimes. Like, it's one of the few songs I have downloaded. Like, I don't know, I only have like 20
Do you
or
know
30
how
songs
hard
like
it is for
actually
me to
downloaded.
describe to people that they're like, no, this is a compliment, and they're like, I'm so confused. I'm like, if
only you knew.
I still don't get it.
yeah.
I still feel bad for Nick every time I hear
It's
it.
the ultimate inside joke.
And another thing, speaking of, because I was so upset by that song internally, that Randy was making a song about why he didn't like, or why Nick sucked, that I made him change it for his birthday video, which on that
did.
same subject, happy early birthday, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Which is
maybe by the time
tomorrow.
this episode goes up, is this going up today or tomorrow, Drew?
It'll depend on how quickly Nick can get his footage to me.
Very
Okay,
fast.
worst
We'll
case
get it to you
scenario?
fast.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, happy birthday, Nick, today
Yay!
or Sunday.
I'm glad you
Thank
could make it
thank
for the
you.
birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Are you celebrating in any particular way? Are you doing it?
You rock, Nick.
I will probably be working.
Well, it's a good thing you love your
there's some
job, right?
projects, exactly. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. There's some projects I need to get done before next week. So yeah, probably be working. But I'm celebrating right now with you guys. So this is my
Yay!
birthday celebration.
Virtual Nick birthday party where we can talk about Apple.
I didn't bring cake, but I did bring some ketchup. So
Yay!
we got
ketchup for all.
20% of our birthday.
You rock, Nick.
You rock,
Nick.
Nick. Yeah. It's
You
kind
rock,
of
Nick.
Apple aligning the iPhone schedule perfectly for your birthday every year.
It really did. Like, Timmy Boy always comes through every year. He sends me this little brown package, and I get to enjoy the goodnesses that come and that flow through it.
His little brown package. Wait a minute. Wait.
I send a lot of brown packages every week. Let me tell you. Absolutely.
Quite
Are they
frankly,
tremendous?
excuse me. Quite frankly, I have the brownest package. Okay, folks, believe me. Nobody has a browner little package than I do. Okay, believe me, folks. Believe me.
Oh, I
Let's
miss
just
you
pull
guys.
out
that
all the
note,
cliches.
can we
for
stop
this
talking about me?
reunion. All right, nah.
Yeah,
I'm
wait.
done.
One last question. Who's
Okay.
better, Tim Cook or Tim Dodd? Ooh, he's having to think about this.
Well, only one of these people has given me a team T-shirt, so
Which is Tim Cook.
Morning.
sure.
Tim Dodd, when
I
you
think,
give
I
Nick
think
a
they're,
T-shirt.
I think they're. I'm wearing it. I think. Yeah, I think they're both amazing in their own respective manners.
Both good Tims.
One of them is a multi-billionaire, and the other one is a amazing guy who I consider a good friend. So.
I didn't know Tim Dodd was a billionaire. That's amazing.
Yeah, Tim Cook and I are just best friends.
Have you been to
like-
Tim Dodd's house?
Yeah. Not his actual house, but the one
Here,
he has
everyone.
down here in Boca. Yeah.
He just posts everyone's address. No.
Yes.
Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
on the subject
Onward.
of Tim Cook,
Onward.
what did you think? Did you get to watch the event live?
I did
Speaking
not.
as, did you watch it at all? Maybe is what I should
did.
be asking. Okay.
I watched it with my buddy Scott that night. He had already watched it live, and we did a drinking game. And
Ooh,
let's just say it was a fun one. And
Nicholas, what were you drinking?
water.
Aviation gin? Oh, okay.
Aviation
No,
gin.
it was
Hello,
between
Ryan
aviation
Reynolds
gin
here.
and
God.
water.
Oh, I can't do it. Ryan
Taking
Reynolds
another
here.
shot.
Ryan Reynolds. Oh boy.
I can't calibrate
Another
my voice
glass.
to that.
What do you drink to? What has to happen?
Well, we were drinking to
Wow.
each time they mentioned environmental things or recycling, which was
Oh.
surprisingly a lot. Like, I was
Yeah.
surprised. So anytime they mention the environment, or because we were joking about it, like they're gonna be talking about it quite a bit. The fact that they
Yeah.
use recycled materials in the Apple Watches and MacBooks and all that fun stuff. It's like they're gonna mention this quite a bit. And we were gonna do an entire glass when we saw what's her face, the lady who got left on the roof, Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a bummer she didn't show up. So
Oh.
sad.
Yeah, I was
No
bummed
Lisa.
by that as well. But as a whole, what did you think of the event? Were you overwhelmed,
Dude,
underwhelmed, whelmed?
It was interesting. Definitely on the whelmed spectrum.
Okay.
Again, everyone's gonna hate me for not loving Apple as much anymore or something. But it
I
was
get it too, don't
interesting
worry.
to kind of not follow any of the leaks and rumors and then just watch it happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew we were gonna get that eye hole cut out. That was leaked 2 years ago at this point. That was not a surprise to anyone. But I didn't know about the dynamic island. I didn't know, evidently people had leaked about that before, that they were going to integrate it in software, which is very cool.
Not much to that extent, though.
The
They
Apple
just
Watch
thought they
Ultra
were going to
just-
turn off pixels, and that was that.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I was really surprised with the Apple Watch Ultra that was. There's
Is
one
that
reason
the
why I don't
flat
have it on my
watch
wrist
that
right
Nick
now.
wants? Is that the Series 7?
That's
Series
close.
7 he wanted?
That's what I was really curious to hear, because on one
Yeah.
hand, Nick, you're out in the field, you're often in places without great internet service, and I felt like a lot of the Apple Watch Ultra's
Doesn't
features
have
would
an
be
outlet.
utilized by
You
you.
can't charge.
But battery life too, yeah.
Battery,
But at the same
yeah.
time, I know you don't like chonk, jarring, big bulky designs. You like clean, simple, elegant design. So I wanted to know if the Ultra was right for you or not.
Ask your doctor
Well-
if Ultra is right for you.
My current watch that I'm currently using is a Series 4 that you might recognize, Drew. It
I
is still
do.
kicking, and it has been worn probably every day since it was purchased. And because
Wow.
of that, the battery is not great.
What's the health at? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't looked. Let me look for you. Let me put
Okay.
this thing back on. Dang
I'm
it.
curious if it's.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
look
gonna
at that.
say
It's not great.
72.
If I
is my
do
prediction.
nothing, but look at the time throughout the day, like literally, if I click anywhere on the apps like I'm doing right now, too much. If I take like a phone call, if I do a workout, it does not last through the day. But if I
Wow.
do nothing but look at the time, it does last through the day. But I end the day at like
Kind of like what a watch
10%.
does, tell you the time.
Well,
This
you know,
watch
this is
tells
a fancy
Tells
watch.
time.
This watch
Yeah.
tells time.
Do you have
There
the
it is,
time lapse watch
batteries.
face selected?
You should
No,
just
I do
turn off all the
not.
pixels.
It says battery at 74%. It says, battery
Ouch.
health service recommended. Oof. It doesn't even tell me what the percentage is. Oof.
It's just you need help.
I have not looked at that yet. I need more health. I need to play what's the Ryan Reynolds game? The movie. Anyway, whatever.
Free
Find some more
Guy?
health tiles. Free Guy, yeah. Find
Oh,
some
yeah.
health tiles for my battery.
I forget the game.
But yeah, so evidently my battery health is service recommended. Therefore, I was going to purchase a new. I was going to buy the Series 7 last year. I think we had this conversation on the show.
Oh.
But I was, expecting that nice new redesign, and that didn't happen. I was depressed and sad, so I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to hold on to my watch for another year, and I did. But I needed to replace my watch for battery reasons last year, which has meant this year. Like I got up, I put this watch on maybe 4 hours ago, and it's already at 74%, and I literally have just what I was doing there, pulling up the battery percentage, was like more than I touched my watch all day long.
That was 25%. Just opening that app.
So I think regardless of what happens, I'm due for an Apple Watch in the next couple weeks.
Let me know if you want this one.
What is that one?
A 7 graphite steel?
No. Graphite, yuck.
No.
Do you want the Series
no.
7 dark green that looks black?
No. So this is my current thought. I really do like the Ultra. My initial gut reaction, my knee-jerk reaction was like, ew, what the heck? It's like halfway rounded, halfway squared, ew. But the more I see it around and people doing videos on it and stuff, I'm like, okay, I can get by with that. Like, I like the idea of just being very a visual cue that, hey, I have the latest watch. Like, that is kind of nice. And I'm still
The
enough of a
flex.
sheep. See, guys, I'm not too far gone. No one's ever really gone. There's still just enough of a flex to want to, I mean, the Series 7, Series 4,
I'm
they
better
look
than
about the
you.
same. I know, exactly.
And
I
the
just want
8.
everyone to know. And the 8, yeah. So the question is going to be here, whether or not I want to spend an extra like $400 because I'm going to get a new watch regardless. And I think if I, the very minimum, I'm going to get a stainless steel Series 7 used, and those are going for about $450, $500 right now used.
Silver?
And silver, obviously silver.
That's the only way.
This is the only way. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so silver. The reason why I don't have an Ultra on day one is because it's not stainless steel silver. If it was stainless steel silver, I know myself well enough. I would have just bought it day one.
So
but
you're not
because of
sold
that,
on
I'm
the
like,
titanium
I'm not. I'm
finish. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's like the starlight color.
Yeah. And there's only one color.
Yeah,
What did you think of the? I haven't even heard Randy's thoughts on the Ultra since they launched it. What were your impressions?
We haven't talked anything really about nothing. Wow. Oh, I was kind of hoping Nick go a little bit longer because I've been trying to formulate my thoughts here a little bit. So, I think it's a great watch. I think it's incredible advancements with the battery that they're able to do. And then that software feature that comes out later, quote unquote later, that even extends it even further for all watches. Even Nick's service needed one.
True.
But
you could extend your battery.
You could. And
that means the battery would have
extended
to
warranty.
last long enough to update the watchOS.
I from everything that I saw with it, I really like it. I like the green version of the G loop, like
Oh, the
has
band.
the
Yeah.
band. That's really really cool. And
pull
evidently
that up.
that's the one that's meant for like hikers anyway. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't do deep diving swim, so I don't need that one. And I'm not
Yeah.
I think the other one was like
You don't hike Mount Everest routinely.
no,
You
not
don't?
that.
Do you even
You
care about
don't.
your health, Randy? Ew.
Does it sound like I care about my health? Listen to me.
They put a fourth ring on the activity rings just for Mount Everest. Have you climbed Mount Everest today? You're not there
And
yet.
it's, you got, like the little motivation alerts. It's like, you still have an hour to finish climbing Mount Everest.
Do you
Just
even
Mount
care
Everest.
about your health? Each time.
Do you want to die?
Uh-oh, you haven't finished Mount Everest.
There's
Your
still
health
time.
insurance premiums are
Go
going
climb
up.
Mount Everest.
So you like the Ultra, but is it for you?
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, we'll just jump into it.
Is it your kind of watch?
I will wait. That is remain to be seen because I will test it. I will get it and I will test it.
Okay.
First impressions, probably not, and not because I don't like the battery or I don't like the exclusivity of it. Not because I don't want the sapphire glass. We've talked about that, Drew. I really like the thing that I really, really wish I had post moving. That it never shows up. You can't see the gash, but I look at it and I'm not lying to you guys or viewers who are watching it on YouTube. I just put on the watch for the first time in like 4 days just for the show, just to show some Apple pride, because I kind of really stray away from it. But if I'm also
Really?
being honest and why I'm like, I don't know. If I don't upgrade to it, which there's a very good chance I don't do that, it's because aside from the gash, I don't like. There's nothing wrong with this watch. I think it's still even like at 100% battery health, and I don't upgrade watches every year. And it's a lot of money, I'm very money conscious this time around. If I'm being, I'll wait until we get into each category. But the theme of my overall analysis is that I'm money conscious this year, mainly because, I got another mouth to feed now. Oh no, I mean nothing went up in price.
Oh, really?
Not with
Nothing?
the iPhones.
Oh, I heard it was transitory.
Overseas, it went up a lot. But here in the good old
Really?
US of A, all our iPhones cost the same. So that was
Lucky us.
refreshing.
Price didn't go up? I thought it was going to go up.
We did too. Yeah, we all made bets. We all put our lives on the line, put our
How much did I pay?
retirement
I
accounts
And this
on
is
the
me
bet.
paying the cost right now. Me being sick is paying the cost of me being so foolish to think that Apple would.
It still starts at $9.99? Why?
Are you just now finding this out?
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you
Yeah.
watch the
Wow.
event?
I
Did you
did.
Did you just?
By the time we got to the iPhone Pro, they talking about the environment a lot.
How drunk were you by the time we got to iPhone Pro?
That's a
Just
lot of
say-
nines.
Let's just say, if we want to talk about that evening, the
He's drinking a
floor
lot of water.
jumped up and bit my 13 Pro Max.
I can't see it. What's going on? Did it crack?
It's all
That's the
cracked.
sad
It's
part is
the-
I don't know which phone you're.
The entire back is just shattered.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
God. Did that happen recently?
Yeah, the night I watched the Apple event.
Oh,
The floor
so
just
drunk you
jumped
threw
up
your
and grabbed
phone.
my phone. No. I'm still the same Nick. That's Road
He's
Technology.
an angry drunk.
What? Putting words into my
It's-
mouth, dude.
Like when Daddy hits Mommy at the dinner table and we have to sit there
Hey,
awkwardly.
yo.
Like that didn't just
okay,
happen.
moving on.
bingo.
Moving on.
Randy said his controversial statement for the week.
And we got to sit there like that didn't just happen.
You've got to make up for 2 weeks of
You guys miss me yet? Full party, baby. You miss me?
Bingo,
Bingo, boy.
Raunchy drunk.
Nah, am I raunchy drunk? No, I'm fun. I'm like this, but more animated.
Yeah. No, in person I can attest to that. He's much more animated. And louder when he knows he's not peeking a microphone.
Or sick.
Right, or sick. So, were you pleasantly surprised then, just now, Nick? 5 seconds ago when you found out
I thought
the
it was
price?
like $100 more across the board.
Because I thought you ordered one.
I did. And
So you
I'm
ordered
looking
one,
at
but
it.
you didn't.
It was like 13.
realize
It was
the price.
like $1,300 or $1,350 or something was the final order.
You almost made water come out my nose.
So, did you get like a higher storage configuration then?
I got 256, which I see
Uh-huh.
now. I was just looking at the bigger sizes, and so I don't know. I saw like
Mhm.
$10.99, $11.99, and I don't really remember the pro price, the max prices, I guess. So
You're like, what I paid for this last
Anyway.
one? I don't know.
I don't-
I guess something
know.
like this. No, this
Whatever.
actually cost
Money's
me
an
less
illusion.
than
I'm
the
just gonna
13.
buy it.
really, how so?
I got the 128 gig this year, not the 256.
Wait. What color did you get? Hold on. What color
Silver.
did
Oh,
you
you
get?
didn't see it? Dun da da da.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, you
Silver
changed
gang.
the wallpaper, I think. Yeah.
Silver gang.
And just for the update, Mike couldn't make it today for scheduling reasons, but he also got silver. So last year we were all trying to get different colors to
This is gonna be
differentiate
awkward.
ourselves. This year we all got the same color, but silver just looks
We
so
are
good
the
this
same.
year.
It
It's
has
gorgeous.
always looked so good. Remember when
I
I've been telling you
disagree.
this?
I did
since
not
the-
like silver last year. I saw it
What?
in
Oh,
person,
okay.
and it
The difference is like what, the SIM card tray, but between
No, the
these
glass.
two phones, there's
it's faded.
the glass.
You can see it. It's not as white. It's like-
there is a difference. Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Whoa.
You were ready to fight me on that, and then you were like, okay, I see it.
I'm looking at right here, Drew. There is no. Oh my God. Is that a crack?
Wait a minute, this one's shattered. I don't like that as much.
Yeah.
You're broken. I don't want to play with you.
Play with you anymore.
Yeah, I saw the silver 13 Pro, and I was like,
Sorry.
not feeling it. I really didn't like any of the 13 Pro colors, with the exception of Alpine Green for Randy. That was perfect and a match made in heaven. But the Pro colors were better this year, I'd say. The Space Black was blacker. Not quite as black as it should be, but the silver was silver. But how about you, Randy? You made predictions along with me that the price hikes would be pretty bad. Were you surprised?
I was actually, yeah, I was surprised. So it seems to me that they're taking the same approach of what they did with the iPhone 11 lineup, where
Yes.
so next year, because it's such a small upgrade, I'm not shocked looking back like, well, that makes sense. This is such a, we're not doing S's anymore, but this is an S year. You're not gonna tell me otherwise. I'm not like, it's the same everything with the 14, just base 14 models.
Yeah, those are incredibly similar.
It's an S year. It's an S year. So it does make sense that the price didn't change. I'm shocked because everything else went up, but Apple's kind of getting it on the back end through international. Sorry, my European, Australian, and Asian and Indian comrades out
African
there.
and
African. Do we have any African? I haven't looked in this. If we got anybody
I'll
from
check.
Africa, that's
Well, I mean, we got to fit Antarctica
Do they
in there.
know
We got to
it's
get
iPhone
Greenland.
season at all?
So, I'm shocked that we the prices are still the same for us.
No Africa.
What was that?
I'm looking at audience demographics, and I got like nothing
Oh,
for Africa.
yeah. I know we have people from Europe, India, and Asia. I
Yes.
think Australia. Yeah. So for you guys, for our international listeners, whether it's on YouTube or even through the podcast app, I do apologize that you guys got those price increases. That sucks. But if it makes you feel better, you guys got a SIM tray. So that.
Yeah.
This is so true. Oh my gosh, I got a huge rant about that whenever we get.
Oh,
to that.
we can go.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna go. All right, so
We miss you, Nick.
Drew, do you remember episode 26 of the Talos of Tech podcast?
Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
What happened?
That was the time that I tried to get an eSIM with Verizon.
Oh, I do remember.
2018.
Okay, yes. That was the whole episode.
It was literally the whole episode. I recently re-listened to it because I had a very similar experience this time around.
Oh,
and
no.
That podcast was the last time I touched an eSIM until recently. And I just swore them off as... I don't know. The lady wanted me to take it out back in 2018. The Verizon support lady's like, just remove your eSIM. And I'm like, what? Yes, let me go remove my eSIM and put it back in. Thank you. Do you even
Lady,
solder,
I know more
bro?
I know more than you. Quit your job.
I know more than you.
I know more than you. Quit your job.
Oh my
when
gosh.
Nick says, "Do you even solder, bro?" It's like me laughing with the mask, me crying behind the mask. It's like the flashbacks.
Yeah, we love you, Lewis.
Welcome to Texas.
Yay! Yeehaw! He's a neighbor now. No, he's
you're
in Texas now.
Have you switched again? Have you? What's happened with your eSIM?
Okay. Back on the eSIM. So I knew this was going to be a big pain. So I'm on Visible, which is whatever offshoot of Verizon. MVNO of Verizon. Yeah, mobile virtual network operators, partially owned by Verizon. And they're really great because it's like unlimited data and it's like super cheap. It's like I think I pay 25 bucks a month. And not a sponsor. I pay $25 a month because I have a party pay thing, which they're grandfathering out, I think, the middle of next month. But I'm going to be grandfathered. It's $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, 50 gigs of high-speed prioritized data, and I never used that much even. And it's really fine. And then I have an Apple Watch on the plan for $25. What's up?
He's going to be a grandpa.
Yes. I'm going to beat you. I heard you were going to be a father, so I just decided to beat you right to it. I'm grandfathered.
You are on this council.
But we're not taking Papa and Sweeney.
Yeah, that's right. So as long as you don't leave Visible, they'll still give you that price.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have my whole family on it. We're on a big party pay. I think we have six.
So you're not leaving ever. They got you.
I mean, as long as I can. I mean, it's $25 a month for a really good deal, and I'm not going to be able to find a good deal like that anywhere else. Go ahead, Randy.
Huh?
Oh, it looked like you wanted to say something, Randy. You were like, There's a funny word coming out of your mouth and it just fizzled out. But that's okay.
That's just my throat swelling.
Oh my gosh!
Scared that I'm going to cough up blood.
I knew Visible was going to be kind of crappy on the eSIM thing because like their idea of amazing customer service is like Twitter DMs and an online chat support. You cannot call them, you cannot email them. Those are the two ways you communicate with them: in online chat and Twitter DMs, which I think is dumb and it's going to suck. So like last Friday after I did the pre-order, I'm like, oh damn it, this thing doesn't have a SIM, right? So. And on one of the splash screens on one of the Apple event or something, I noticed there was an option in the new setup screen that said transfer SIM or transfer phone number from another iPhone, a nearby iPhone. And I was like, okay, cool. Apple's figured out some magic way to move eSIMs, right? So I need to move my physical SIM onto the eSIM of my 13 before. Then that way, in my mind, I was like, it was just going to be a quick and easy eSIM to eSIM conversion, right? Like, I was hoping this would make it easier. Mm-hmm. So on Friday night, I messaged I Googled it, right? Looked at the help forums, and I found this nice little 5-step guide of how to move your physical SIM to eSIM on Visible. I'm like, okay, and I followed the steps. And one of the steps was, wait for this page that said setting up your profile. And if that page spun, a little circle was spinning for like literally an hour. I left it and did something else, came back an hour later, and it was still spinning. I'm like, okay, you're broken.
Here
patient. We go.
I would have given up after about 40 seconds. This isn't working.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, I didn't want to break it because I've had problems with eSIMs in the past, so I wanted to just let it live. Apparently the transfer failed, and so I was like, well, lovely. And so I messaged Visible support on their website, waited like an hour to find an agent, and they finally found me one of the 3 agents they have there. And the guy helped me, set it up. He thought it was working, and then he was like, oh, well, actually, I haven't seen this before. I'm going to have to escalate this to a technical support advisor or something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Can I please get the ticket number? And he's like, here's your ticket number, nice long number. And then I said, right after that, can we archive this chat? can you email me the transcript? And he's like, oh yeah, it'll be in your email right after the chat. I'm like, okay, cool. Didn't save the ticket number. Big dumbass.
Deletes everything.
Yeah. That's what happened. Did not get an email from them with any chat transcript, no ticket number, nobody reached out, no nothing. So I'm like,
wow,
lovely. And then as soon as I got off the chat with this guy, my phone service stopped working. My physical SIM stopped working, and my eSIM were not working. So I had no service. So I'm like,
oh, that's a problem.
That's a problem. So luckily I have this wonderful
Jeez.
backpack from work that gives me 4 LTE SIMs bonded together in a beautiful. Anyway, it's for work, but I can use it if I need it, and I needed it because I did not have cell service on my phone.
Wow.
So I wasn't up a creek without a paddle, but my phone number got deregistered from iMessage. So if anyone texted me from Friday to was it Monday afternoon?
Well,
that I
that's
got
when we
fixed.
fired. It was
That's
right
when
then.
you fired me. That's when the letter came through.
That's when you got your termination letter. We sent that out via text.
Yeah, it was messed up. So
I was
anyway,
wondering
I'll
why
just
you were
say
green. Yeah.
I was green. Like I
I
was
thought you
seriously
blocked
green
us.
for a little bit. Yeah. No, because once I got it all set back up on Monday, a bunch of green messages all came through from like friends that I'm blue messages with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all just messed up. Like poor Mike had texted me, like Scott texted me, and like they're all like green, and I just didn't see them because it was all broken. Anyway,
Visible sounds great. But
Invisible is great. It's cheap. It's cheap, and you get what you pay for. So
you get what you pay for.
the service is good. The customer.
So
service
did you
is
get it? Did you get it resolved ever?
Yeah. So anyway, eventually on Monday, I'm like, okay, I have a couple hours here while I'm working. I'm just gonna figure this out. And so I chatted with a bunch of different people. They got it sorted. It was a combination of deleting the app, signing out of the account, resetting up the profile, deleting the profile on the phone. Anyway, just a bunch of troubleshooting stuff. We got it figured out, and the eSIM was on my 13 Pro Max. And I was like, awesome, I'm ready for Friday. Ooh, yippee skippy, here we go. So my iPhone comes yesterday, and I go to set it up, and I was thinking that little blue orb setup screen would be the fastest and easiest way to transfer the SIM, right? And so so I clicked transfer SIM, and it said this phone number can't be transferred because this feature is not supported by your carrier. And I was like, thanks, Visible. Thank you. Why did I know this was going to happen? Thank you.
I'm more of a Magenta
Anyway,
guy myself, and I feel like you guys would benefit from T-Mobile a lot.
See, T-Mobile has even less service than Verizon out here, which is even worse than anything. So,
well, Randy, you didn't buy the new iPhone, right? You're still on 13.
So
choose your words wisely. Choose your next words very wisely.
I feel like I'm about to be surprised.
I walked in my house 2 minutes before Nick called and started the chat here because I went to my local Target that said they had an iPhone in stock.
Oh,
and,
good.
I am proud to announce here for the first
Oh.
time that
Oh!
no, I don't got it.
Pulls up Magic Mouse.
Magic Mouse.
I too got
I bought
silver.
a Magic Mouse. I do. I got silver too.
Okay,
that answers that.
So I was in San Diego when all this happened, to include pre-orders. There was no way I was going to be able to do pre-orders, so I was just so busy, and so I did not do, launch of pre-order like normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked when I got back, and it showed that there was stuff in stock at Best Buy and Target, and so I, okay, cool. Well, there's a Target that's right by my house. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Target, and I got up this morning. And I was like, I'm gonna go pick up an iPhone and unbox it live right here and surprise everybody. And I had this whole thing worked out. I get there, and it said like, oh, it's it's only for AT&T. I went on the Target website, and I was like, oh, that's fine. I'm not gonna transfer my SIM because it's just this is my review.
Store.
Huh?
Yeah, but you have to activate it in store.
Oh, even just turn it on. I was just I'm testing it for everything else but phone. I don't care about iMessage and stuff like that. So I was gonna be a very expensive iPod.
Yeah.
or a very expensive camera. So
rest in peace.
Yeah. So I went to go pick it up, And the guy was like, we don't have any in stock. I'm like, it says right here. He's like, and I'm in the, the electronics section of the department. And they're like, well, I can't talk to what Target is saying. Like, I'm an AT&T representative. I'm like, oh my god. He's like, so how much are you paying with your phone service today? I'm like, no, we're not doing this. I was like, no, we're not doing this. Yeah, how much are you paying? It's like, no, how about you tell me what you're offering, and I'll tell you if that's a good deal or not. He's like, well, if you're military or first
we're
responder. How about you offer me an iPhone? It's like you can he's like, if you switch over with us, you can get a free iPhone 14. I'm like, iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 with 24 monthly install. I'm like, no. I was like, I'm not being locked into none of that. And then I was like, do you got the phone in stock? And like, let me go take a look, because I was gonna make some lies like, all right, yeah, I'll switch over, and just not. But he came back and he's like, no, we don't.
Just dangling the carrot in front of him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll consider switching.
Yeah. I was like, how about you show me the phone first? Show me what I want, and we'll talk about what you want. And then I'll take his phone and be like, I don't want you. And then I just walk away. So, but he came back. He's like, oh, we don't have it. We don't have any in stock. I'm like, all right, well, the website said it, so Target, shame on you for doing that, because it says in stock, but you have to go in person.
I bet they're hiding it. They did something similar back when I got my first iPad Pro. It said it was available for pickup on the website, and I showed up to the store and they said we don't have any in stock, and I said, then why does the website say it does? And then they were like, okay, let us look, and they go in the back, and then they pulled one out. But I had to fight them for it.
You have to fight the Target person.
Yeah.
Sell me this product. I want to buy it. I want to give you money.
There were punches thrown left and right.
Yes.
There was choking.
I didn't have to be back in 20 minutes to do this, I would have stayed in FOP. I was like, you're not gonna give me the phone, then I'm just leaving. He's like, well, we can set you up and pre-order. I'm like, no. I looked at it, I was like, you wasted my time. So I turned around and I walked away.
So while we're on that subject, you were at least looking to review one. You at least wanted to try one out. Are you?
I
based
will
on
do that, yeah.
Based on the pricing and the features that have been announced, and from what you've seen, are you not convinced to upgrade, or that's completely off the table, or is it still a possibility?
I want to hear what you have to say, Drew, but since you asked, I will go first.
I asked first. Yeah.
It's not completely off the table, but I'm not gonna upgrade.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's this is the smallest upgrade like ever, and autofocus on the FaceTime or on the front facing camera is not. I thought already autofocus. I thought that's what the box around your face was doing, but I guess not. Maybe. I don't know.
It's pure placebo.
Auto. This is true. Autofocus requires movement. I think it's a physical thing, and the front cameras used to
when
never
you go like
have
that,
it.
the little box tracks you, and I thought it was autofocus, but then I realized
It's
that
the
autofocus
software
is
saying I know what a face is.
I guess. Yeah, I maybe I got it wrong, because then I looked it up, and autofocus apparently is a YouTube channel, so I was like, oh, okay. So
with really bad audio quality.
So Marquez's channel is on the camera now? Is that what he said?
Yes.
So
on the front-facing camera.
This is the smallest upgrade. The only thing that makes it not small is that dynamic island. And that, to me, it sounds cool. My brother called me yesterday. I was his first FaceTime call, and he's learning it right there on the spot, and he's so jazzed about it. He picked it, upgraded. He got his phone before me, and he was just so excited. He's like,
Aww.
He's like, it's moving. He's not a tech guy, so he's watching it do its thing. Like, oh, it's moving. And so watching him like respond. Yeah, that. Oh my god, that looks so cool. Yeah, that's cool, but that is such a. It is a gimmick. That adds no. It doesn't really add anything. I will say, quick side tangent to that. Dynamic island fixes multitasking, and I like that.
How so?
it fixes multitasking because it does everything in the background passively while you can still watch it, whether it's music timer, if you ordered your Lyft ride or what have you. And it has multiple little clusters that come up the way people thought they were going to get it on their lock screen. It has multiple clusters that come up based off of whatever is the priority of it. And it's very intuitive about you getting to the next thing without you leaving the main screen there. So there's your timer right there. And you could have a separate whatever come on. Look, that's so cool. The way, like, excluding animations, because animations is just UI. Yeah. I like how they integrated, like, oh, Face ID, this person's calling you, or that's cool. It's cool, but that's I don't care. I like how I do care that it fixes multitasking. It's a better control center if you can utilize it correctly. At least how I use my control center. So, I like some widgets. It's the widget on your home screen that you wanted it to be interactive. That's what that is.
I see. I never thought of it that way. But
that's why
you're
you
right.
have me here, Drew. That's why you have me.
That's why. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
The big bucks. That's what it does. It's the interactive widget that we've wanted on the home screen, and I like that. And because of it, it fixes multitasking without you having to jump in and do a whole, a whole new application. It's basically also a better version of, I guess, clips or whatever, like where it doesn't take up a whole screen, but it still has a function when they were like, oh, here's my pass. Or
right.
So
I forgot about clips.
because no one uses it. Better utilization of the same concept, though, that like here's a little indicator, let you do your thing, goes away. So it fixes multitasking, and it's the interactive widget on the home screen that you wanted, and that interactive widget is UI fluid, but it's also fluid in the sense that of whatever app you want it to use. So it's not just a dedicated app. Here's my Tesla app, or here's my photos or calendar. It's whatever you need it to be, and it's responding to you. So it's cool, and I like that. From what I've seen, I haven't tested it, but I guarantee the novelty will wear off immediately because it's like you get used to it.
Yep. I can confirm. I haven't even had this thing for 24 hours.
It will wear off eventually. It may, at different times for other people, but it's hey, that's neat. All right, it doesn't fundamentally change how you use the phone. So for that reason, I'm not including it as part of an upgrade. To me, the upgrade, the only thing that's fundamentally changing the phone would be the camera, but even this hasn't really fundamentally changed. It's incremental improvements, almost as expected, which is cool. I appreciate the upgrades, but there's nothing.
I would disagree. I do appreciate the camera upgrades this year. Like
with your 48 megapixel RAW photos.
Pro RAW. Are you using that a lot?
I mean, I've had the phone for not enough time to actually put it through.
This phone is meant for you, Nick. Absolutely meant for you.
Like battery life,
this is your
the
camera.
2000 nits bright screen. I'm pretty excited about that because I'm in the sunlight all day long.
I noticed
48 megapixel sensor is pretty nice. It's kind of noisy from the couple tests that I've done, but it's a smartphone.
It fixes
so
a lot of the issues that you would have with your point and shoot, strictly of preservation of data that you capture, and that you've shown me too, with the way you zoom in on any of the starships and stuff like that. Like I when I saw what they were doing with it, I was like, that's Nick's phone for sure. It didn't fix anything for me on the video side, so it's not Randy's phone. The 13 Pro was Randy's phone. The whole 13 lineup, even the 13 Mini, is Randy's phone. Like all the shot on iPhone stuff. I got my flowers.
Yeah, you
last
got cinematic
year.
mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe mine's next year.
Well, you got yours last year's too. Yours was Pro Motion.
512 hertz.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about always on display. I would turn it off because I even turned it off on my watch.
Do you use it, Nick, or did you turn it off?
Always on.
Always on display.
I have it on still. Like it's on. Like always on is on.
Okay.
It's always on. I haven't turned it off yet. I don't mind it being always on. It's kind of nice, and I haven't I have noticed a few times where I've like gone to turn it off and realized it was already off, and then turned it on when I was trying to turn it off, even though it was already off. Um, so it's a little bit wasteful there, but I got used to it pretty quickly, and it feels pretty intelligent on when it's supposed to be off and on. So I think it's well implemented, but I have noticed some battery issues with this, and I've chalked it up to indexing, because I know when you first get a new iPhone, it's like thinking about everything. So perhaps it's that, but yeah, I'm at 89% right now, which, okay, I have been using it for what, 4 hours, 5 hours now, so maybe that's about appropriate, and I really haven't been on it much, but I don't know. I just worry about battery life. We'll see. I might turn it off just to try it out and see what it looks like, but I do like just having the time and, next calendar appointment and stuff, like, just up there.
With always on display for me, I'm glad it's an option. I'm glad it's there for people who want that option. Not for me, but I'm glad they brought it. Not a reason for me to upgrade. I don't think it should be a reason for anybody to upgrade, because it's a non-issue. Everything about the phone is cool and appreciated. Updates, wider aperture, faster shoot, and for me, it's all about the cameras now, because that's software. The only hardware thing is the eye hole that became Dynamic Island. But as I said, like that's
4K cinematic mode does nothing for you.
No. I don't use cinematic like that. I use cinematic, to be honest with you. I've used cinematic in the last 12 months now for my thumbnails when I want to focus on, like when I was doing the Beats unboxing, I brought it up like this. Like this is actually focused. This is not cinematic. So that's a little bit different. But when I'm far away and I'm trying to get my thumbnail, I use cinematic mode so that way I can go and post and then blur out that. And it seems to me that the iPhone 14 Pro now, or maybe 14 as well, the iPhone 14 series with portrait mode now gives you the foreground out of focus effect as well. So if it locks into your face and you're going like this or something, it will actually intuitively blur out your hands. For our non-YouTube listeners, I'm making hand gestures, and it actually starts to bokeh out and blur your hands the way they would do the background. So foreground and background is now getting the effect while you are adjusting what you want it to be in focus. I saw a photographer YouTuber demonstrating. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Not a reason to upgrade, because everything I'm showing you right now, this is all hardware. This is actually focusing. And to my final point with the cameras, everything that I wanted the camera to do, I have not used anything but an iPhone as my workflow. This is my work, and this works perfectly, and I'm so content. Ventura and iOS 16 that made this magical experience happen. I have never felt more content with the cameras than I do now, because of the software and the walled garden and how they implement everything. It can just quote unquote work, and I'm okay with all that stuff. But is it cool that the ultra wide finally got an update? Yes, it's so cool. Is it cool that now even darker you take some more light on darker photos and stuff like that at nighttime, and you could, yeah, sure, that's cool, but they're all like incremental. I kind of expected it. I didn't get wowed. Even the action mode, cool, but like cinematic mode, I know me, I'm not gonna do that. I might do it for a test, but do I look like I'm out there running? Come on now, I'm not. That's not me. So no, I mean, it's cool to say that now we can make it more cinematic for this and that, and people who want to use the hashtag shot on iPhone and make these short clips, these cinematic clips. More power to you. I'm all about the creative endeavor.
Mode right now, he's shaking his phone around.
Yeah,
sitting down, action mode.
It's all cool, and I appreciate the 48 megapixels being a thing where it's not giving you 8K. Thank God. And instead, when you zoom in, it preserves all the data for 2x telephoto, because I find myself, I don't ever use the wheel of scrolling. I just tap 1 or I tap 3 or 0.5, and 3x is sometimes too aggressive for me when I'm just trying to get a nice photo of like my dog was lounging on a chair yesterday. And I took a photo of her just, being her princess self. And I was like, I really had to step back and and I'm like, I wish I had 2x again. So stuff like that, little conveniences are cool. But it's $1,000 minimum. And I'm extremely cost conscious this time. Because what if I want to keep the watch? I would take the watch before I take the phone, the Ultra. And I'm definitely going to get the AirPods Pro because now it has best battery with all the tech.
Right.
We haven't talked about the AirPods yet, but I am going to get those. I think we all would.
For sure.
We all should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's no way.
I'm at least reviewing mine, but the price was the same, but tons of upgrades.
Yeah.
So.
I'll do that. I'm not looking for lossless. I know what these are. These dedicated headphones are for lossless and stuff like this. These are my work headphones.
Right.
I'm not trying to make a one size fits most when I do my productivity anymore because you have to compromise on some stuff that is the trade-off worth it? And that's a personal question for most people who are in the creative space. But away from if I was not a content creator if I wasn't making music, if I wasn't doing YouTube or podcast or anything like that, live stream, if I was just a normal Joe Schmo, which one day I yearn to be, just a boring guy, who doesn't care about tech, which I know won't never be the case. But if I pretend I was, these AirPods is all anybody would ever need, and specifically the AirPods Pro. I would recommend AirPods Pro to everybody. It doesn't fit right. Well, now they got even more size adjusting. It doesn't fit right. Well, get foam tips like me. These are foam tips, and they fit perfectly. And it's the same fit now, Drew. So now you can get the foam tips. Like I
read it's not. I heard in the compatibility page.
Really?
Oh God!
They had the replacement cups say that they're compatible with AirPods Pro 2nd gen, but they didn't say 1st gen. I don't know if that's just because they include extra small or something, or just the compatibility is listed incorrectly. So we'll see when we get the AirPods Pro ourselves. We'll know for sure.
If that's the case, I will make adjustments as need be, because I would now say to anybody looking for headphones, in-ears, or just headphones, period, and you got an iPhone, AirPods Pro 2. All the way. I'm trying to save money. No, you're not. You're in the Apple ecosystem. AirPods Pro 2. I'm trying to save money. Wait.
You're not.
You're trying to save
Buy
money.
them on Amazon.
Yeah, buy them on Amazon. Certified refurbished. Or Amazon Renew. Or you try to save money, then cut corners, but don't cut corners on the tech, because now we got best battery with no compromise. You don't compromise on the battery now, what the AirPods 3 had, and you get all this additional benefit. And they say ANC is now even 2 times better. Transparency can now block out and all that stuff, and all these noise. And
did y'all notice the guy using the jackhammer in the background, and the jackhammer sounds did not match his motion?
No, I didn't.
That's that Apple TV Plus money right there.
I was looking at the Severance cameo thing with the train.
Dude, I know. I saw that. I was like, "Hey, let's go!"
That was cool.
They worked that in there. It was subtle.
They squished that in there.
If I have a budget to spend, which I do, iPhone would not be on the top of that list.
Ooh,
and
really? Tim Cook is crying right now. Like, he is in the corner.
2021,
Tim.
Listen.
Tim, it's just an iPhone. Randy
2021 was the best hardware that we got for Macs and for phones, in my opinion. Okay, because we all got opinions. And this year, 2022, the software followed up with it, and now, I'm so happy. I feel that contentness. The reason maybe it's a blessing and a curse that I was in San Diego when this happened. But that urge of not being able to pre-order, now I feel free. Like I don't have to.
Good.
And
that's a good feeling.
These AirPods are working just fine. So I'm not gonna I will buy outside of the Apple store if it means I can get it quicker. but I'm not going out of my way to pre-order. I'm not gonna adjust my sleep cycle because I'm not sleeping anyway. And that's my sick joke. Cause I
He's
haven't
getting
been
ready for that baby.
I guess so. I've not, guys. I have not slept more than 3 hours consecutively in the last 4 days, and
Aw.
all this right
That's
here.
bad.
This is completely for the show. Like, I can't sleep. No, if you say, "Hey, go lay down," I can't. The mucus starts to choke me. I can't.
That sucks.
And
I know
I'm
what
like,
that's
I get
like.
these clammy, cold sweats going on because I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm a mess right now. But
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna change my life's routine of if I have a schedule to upkeep, which I don't. But if I did, I feel that sense of freedom of not having to get it day one. I got the green iPhone 6 months later, and it feels still new to me. And so every time I look at it,
Yeah.
and I look at you guys and stuff, like I'm looking at the green, and it's cool. So
It's
technically,
beautiful.
I got a phone. Oh yeah, you saw it in person.
I got to see it in person. I was like,
and
whoa!
I like the graphite. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And knowing that's darker, I have a little bit of FOMO. Like, I should go back to black. Yeah, this looks nice. It's timeless.
There's a emotion attachment to that. I forget the term, but basically, it's natural with colors to want what you don't have. You get used to what you have, and that becomes the norm. And then when you see something else,
I will say it was kind of a weird experience getting the exact same color phone.
Yeah.
And being like, oh yay, it's iPhone day! Yay, finally new phone. Oh, I forgot. You look the same. I don't want to play with you anymore. It's like, I don't know. They look like exactly, except for the SIM card tray and the always-on display. You could not tell the difference between these two devices. I am quite convinced of that fact. Like,
Watching Drew's
These are-
unboxing made me go like, man, that's a clean white. Did you color correct that? Or was that just iPhone?
and are you talking about the phone or?
When
or
you
car?
filmed in the car?
No, I did not.
Did you color correct?
correct it.
So that's. I asked
That
because
was-
my brain has calibrated how the color works on iPhones, that I know what to really look for based off of what Apple does in the computational part of it. So if you didn't color correct it, I have a pretty good idea what that white really, feels like. And that's a clean white. That
But
reminds me of that
seriously,
iPhone
they look-
10R white.
Oh,
they
right.
look almost the same. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good
Like,
thing you
you
got
got-
the wallets on there. Did you buy a second MagSafe wallet?
Okay. So I've had this MagSafe wallet since the iPhone 12 mini. So I've had this for 2 years now, and literally, my favorite phone ever. The leather at the bottom is coming apart, and so my card can slip out the top or the bottom if I'm not careful. So I needed a new one, and they didn't have the saddle brown. They only had this orange brown. And so orange brown it is. Oh well.
So my last thing, and I want to hear what Drew has to say. I am getting an iPhone, but I'm getting the 13
iPhone.
mini.
Oh, now it's at the discounted pricing. It's a good deal. It's an amazing deal, honestly.
And I'm gonna wait until it even goes. Excuse me, until it goes on sale, like Black Friday or something on Amazon.
Oh, that
I will
I
get
think
the best deal I
Yeah.
can get out of it. I'm gonna
certified
get
Get a
refurbished
green
too.
one.
Yeah, this one is strictly I every time I hold my wife's phone and I'm like, I wish I can quit these camera lenses, but now
Do it.
I have
Do
the
it.
best of both worlds where the 13 mini is everything I've ever wanted it to be.
Well,
and
the 13 mini has the same powerful chipset that the breakthrough, groundbreaking iPhone 14 has.
Yep.
I thought that was
There's not
pretty
a big
funny during the
difference
event. They were talking up the A15 chip like it was like the
Yeah.
best thing ever. Like seriously, it's like, wow, this
Well, it
is the
is.
best chip ever. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, in 30 seconds, you're about to just smoke this chip again, and they did. So,
Yeah. I don't know if
Pro
I'm gonna get
16's
product
not
red or green.
That much
but
better.
It's not that much better.
It isn't? Really?
Well, at least in the speed test department. I mean, if you're talking about
Oh.
just like raw performance, there's like a marginal improvement, but it's not like, to me that's a perk. Like it means the 13 mini, which is now selling for like $600, has basically still the same chip as the flagship that costs $200 more or $400 more if you buy
True.
the different one. So I'm like, that's just makes the 13 mini even a better buy. And after this whole launch, I'm like, basically no one should get a regular 14 or 14 plus.
Definitely.
No. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm buying a mini because I didn't want to
green?
quit it. I don't know if I'm going to get green or product red. I love
The red is really good.
I love that red. That is my favorite.
I was a little
red
worried. How is it in person, Drew?
The red 13s are great. I love the red 13s. The red 14 I am not a fan of. I've seen some people say they like, but it is like shockingly bright red. It is like they chose the shortest
Orangey?
possible wavelength. Yeah, it starts to dip into orange a little bit, but it's not as
Not too
salmon
pink.
colored as the 12 red. It's not like the pinkish
Good.
that the 12
The
had,
pink,
but
yeah.
it's just, I was curious about it because I know they always look different in person. So when I was at the store, I was looking at all the colors, and I pick up the 14. Of course, don't care about anything on the front of the phone because it's a 13 and no changes. So I'm just like, okay, let me check out the back here. And I'm just like, oh, it is too bright. It's like off-putting red to me. Some
Yeah.
people like it, but
I like
couldn't
I like
get
that
into it.
deep red. I like that like deep rich red. That the 13 product red was my favorite red I think since like iPhone 8.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think me too.
Yeah. So it's and I tried it. I ran that test with it for 2 weeks and I loved everything about it. So I might go back to that because I'm not getting rid of this phone. This is like my phone, but my daily carry might definitely become the 13 mini. My situation like
your daily.
that would be my daily because like let's be realistic. I'm not my day-to-days don't really change all that much, and the convenience of having something that doesn't weigh me down. This phone is too big, but I've reprogrammed my brain that the 13 Pro Max is a camera that has internet. That's genuinely how I feel about it. It's a camera, and I treat it as a camera first. Point proven, you know. And the 13 mini is a phone, a really really cool phone, a really nice phone, one that I actually have like an emotional response to this day a year later. So I'm really glad they did. I'm glad they discontinued the 12 mini, and I'm glad that they kept the 13 mini, and I hope it sticks around a lot longer than this year as well, because that's, in my opinion, for cost analysis and stuff like that, that's a sleeper. Like that gives you everything that you can have in a modern phone, but you know it doesn't have pro camera stuff. Okay, fine, but it's don't ever get an SE when you have that. The SE is a worse camera, worse battery, worse interface, worse pixel resolution, worse color options, worse battery. If I didn't say that already, it's
no
so
one should
dated.
get the SE3.
Don't get the SE. Get the mini. If you're like, I want a cheap phone, get the mini. Get the mini.
Did they announce an SE3?
Yeah, back in March. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for missing that one because it looks exactly the same. It just
Okay.
has 5G and an A15 chip. So
Okay,
was a
big
very,
for
very-
this one. So
True.
it's still an iPhone 8, 249
Yeah.
or 449.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you keeping the 14 Pro?
I don't think so. I think I'm.
I remember
Confident.
you promising up and down that you were not going to be upgrading.
That's right. And I'm a man of my word. You know.
Starting tonight. I'm a man of my word.
I mean, I've had it for less than 24. No, I guess I've had it for about 24 hours now, and I have committed to it. You know, I've done the eSIM transition. This is my first eSIM I've ever switched to, and I'm very happy to report, not a sponsor, but Mint Mobile made eSIM incredibly easy. to transition.
Shut up, okay? No one asked about your beautiful owner and his beautiful video that he did with the other guy about getting inspections of your
Ryan
body
Reynolds from,
on occasion.
Mint Mobile here. We wanted to make sure eSIM was as simple as possible with the iPhone 14 transition. Because I'm lazy. And I don't have time to figure out all this stuff. So
We
you
don't know
download
what 5G
the app.
is, so
That is
we're giving it
either
to
a
you free
really
until we
good
figure it
Ryan
out.
Reynolds. That is either a really good Ryan Reynolds impression, or
It's
I'm
dipping
gonna have
into
to have a
Shapiro.
conversation with you. It's a little
It's a
fast.
fine
there.
line. Yeah.
Fine
Well,
line.
yes.
Well, yes, quite frankly.
One of these is attractive.
Dynamic Island is nothing like the Pale Hole on Android. But you just download the Mint mobile app and sign in, and then you say, I want this phone to be my phone number,
Yeah.
and it goes, okay. And you just go into account settings and you press like 3 buttons, and it says, okay,
That's
do you want to
the
import
power
your
of
eSIM?
T-Mobile, baby.
I give no credit to T-Mobile. They just make the towers work. But Mint
How dare
handles
you.
all of the account management stuff, and they let me just have one password. I don't need a billing pin or any of that crap. I just one password, and you can even sign in with Face ID if you prefer that. So you can just fall back on Apple biometrics. So I just signed into the new iPhone and told them I want this to be my new SIM, and they were like, "You're gonna convert your physical SIM to an eSIM. Are you okay with that?" And I just hit yes, and it goes, "Okay, give it a moment." And then boom, just the little cell bars popped up in the corner, and I was like, "Oh, that was it?" I was really nervous because I had heard terrible things about other carriers like Visible or Verizon
Ouch,
or
okay.
whoever.
Shots fired.
That's what you told me. It didn't
I
go
know.
well.
It did objectively did not go well.
So, and
He's not the only
that's why
person
I
who-
was hesitant and annoyed that Apple was starting to ditch the physical SIMs, because it felt like to me, like when they ditched the headphone jack, they had their own solution. I mean, for one, they had the adapter, and for two, they had AirPods. So it was like, okay, it's a bit more expensive, but Apple has the better standard that they want us to switch to. In the situation of eSIM, Apple is falling back on third parties to have the solution, which I don't trust a lot of the third parties, and I'm not convinced all of them. Clearly, as Nick can attest, we can't always trust these carriers to make it a simple, easy to switch, and like many have pointed out, there's lots of carriers overseas that don't have eSIM yet, and there's people that travel that buy the US iPhone and then they swap to different SIMs when they travel, and not having that physical backup is an annoyance to them. So my hope is that the 14 ditching it can at least encourage carriers to get their acts together and realize they shouldn't fall back on physical SIM, but I'm not as confident about it as ditching the headphone jack or ditching, the USB-A port, because I'm like, Apple doesn't have their own solution. Or at least they tried to with the whole, here's a little pop-up where you just transfer your eSIM, but that doesn't seem to be working very consistently for people either. Depends on what carrier you're on. But I just felt fortunate and grateful that I was on a carrier that made it incredibly simple. So it only took a couple of minutes, and I didn't have to get a pin, and I didn't have to pull out a SIM tray or anything. The fact that I could just hit a button and switch my phone number to a different phone was like, that was pretty clean. I kind of see why Apple wants to push that and why they think that's the future, because it was when it works well, it's very intuitive to just be able to press a few buttons. But I've also switched my phone key over. I've switched my Apple Watch is now connected to this phone.
Wow.
I've got my Apple Pay switched over. So I was like, I'm not going to completely write this off as soon as I get it. I had the temptation to be like, because I don't plan on upgrading, I shouldn't even try to I'll just treat it like Randy said, like an iPod, and I'll just kind of have it at my desk, use the camera, play around with Dynamic Island, but I'll use my 13 Pro Max as my daily phone. No, this is my daily phone. The 13 staying home, not using it, downloading all my third-party apps and signing into all my Google accounts and using it for YouTube. And so I'm committed here, but within the first 24 hours of ownership, nothing has... I keep wanting to fall back on that old Apple sheep that finds something so useful and so valuable that I'm like, no, I have to keep it. I'm kind of...
Dude, the new bezels are thinner and uniform.
I do notice that. I picked up on that right away, but
Same.
I
That's the Apple
noticed
cheek.
like
Keep it.
I appreciate that almost more so than Dynamic Island. Just the uniform
All right.
inner
So what
bezel
does the
around the
Apple
edge.
sheep say? How do you justify keeping this?
Well, I can't. That's the problem. But I mean, I was trying to look for reasons because I thought, maybe I was wrong and false to assume that I knew everything about the 14 before it came out, and Apple did surprise me a lot with the pricing and the dynamic island, and I was testing out cinematic mode, and I was trying to find use cases for dynamic island and trying to come up with things that I would use it for, and I just quickly started using it as a regular phone again and was not noticing any daily difference that it would make. Like probably the biggest difference was the brightness. I walk outside pretty regularly, and I noticed the 2000 nits of like, wow, I can really see everything even though I'm in direct sunlight. So
Which sucks
that's
'cause
something.
it only lasts for like 20 seconds until your phone gets slightly warm, and then it goes like, like, hey, I need more
It's like-
brightness. I can't see it. It's like, no, sorry, it's too hot. And I'm like, you're 25% brightness. Put it back up to the top. He's like, I'm too hot.
Yeah.
Like, God dang it.
That's why they advertise it at like 2000 nits outside, right? Because it means it can't keep that sustained very long. Whoop, car went to sleep. Wake up. But also the always on display bothered me a lot. As soon as I had it, I was like, oh, you're not off, but you are off, and that's just going to be there the whole time. And it was like surprisingly bright for a off mode, and I kept finding myself wanting to turn it off even though it was. So I just like the way I turn it off with my watch. I was like, I just can't. It bothers me too much. It just feels like there's power being wasted, and it's energy, and I know it drains the battery. Even if it's not by much, it still drains the battery more than it needs to be drained, and I just couldn't get comfortable with it, so I turned it off, and now it's off. But I want to thoroughly get comfortable with it, so I'm not returning it early or anything. Like I'm using the full return window, which I have until basically the end of the month, to file for a return, and then there's a few days after that to actually ship it or whatever. And I had a little story that involves Randy that really convinced me. It was a very small detail, but it was ultimately the warning flag I needed that Drew, no, you can't justify this, even if there's all these comments I'm getting every video. Drew said he wouldn't keep it, but I know he wants to. He wants to get, because like when I'm going through the motions,
Drew keeps it. I saw that comment.
yeah, so people were all making bets. I actually had a few people DM me saying that they made literal bets on whether or not I would keep it, and I was like, oh god, there's like money on the line now.
What did I do? What did I do?
So I was still switching over stuff. I hadn't fully moved everything that I needed to completely ditch the 13 Pro Max. So I was driving to visit my grandma, just checking up on her. Actually, the grandma you guys met, we drove the car in.
Aww.
So
Has she gotten to drive in your car?
not yet, but I'm trying to get the beta first because I want to get her reaction to full self-driving. Anyway, but I was over there just checking up on her, and I had both my 13 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max. So both about the same weight, both about the same size, and they were in my two front pockets. And I got a text from Randy because he knew I had posted my unboxing and everything. So he knew I had the 14, and he was like, really good question that I didn't see people bring up. Does portrait mode bring back the 2x button? Because they showcased the 2x for the regular camera, and I really want the 2x portrait. And it does. But I got the text, I pulled out my phone, and I went to the camera app and switched it to portrait, and there wasn't a 2x button. And I was like, oh, see, because they went with the 48 megapixel camera, they should have added 2x to portrait, because I also have stories just like Randy where 3x is too far, but 2x is just right. 1x is too far away. So I was like, that's a bummer. Why don't they have a 2x in portrait mode? I realized I was on the 13, not the 14. And I had
No
gone
way.
through. I didn't like. I wasn't like using the phone. Just right away check the camera app. I was like doing other things, and then I got the text from Randy. I read his text, then checked the camera app, and I realized I had gone probably a full like minute to 2 minutes without realizing that I wasn't using the 14. I thought I was just doing basic phone stuff, texting people and checking the news or checking email, and I thought that I was testing the new iPhone, and I went through the whole camera app and everything, and I was about to text you. I was about to say, no, it doesn't have the 2x. I was writing out the message before I realized, oh wait, this phone has a notch.
That explains why the ellipses went away. I was like, oh, he's right. Oh, it's gone. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I stopped. And then I was like, oh shoot, I'm not checking the new iPhone. So I put the 13 away, I pull out the 14, and I go to the camera app, and it does have the 2x button. And I was like, oh, okay, they did think of that. But that little interaction I had with Randy was basically the deciding factor for me. I was like, the fact that in my daily ownership experience, the daily usage, I had just bought a brand new iPhone, and I couldn't tell I wasn't using it when I was on my 13, because they're both 6.7 inches, they're both 120 hertz, and that's what I do notice. And I have been messing around with the camera. You know, it's early in the review process, but even I took an Apple ProRAW photo because I knew that was the big detail thing, and I'm glad it's there, and I am happy for Nick because I do think he'll utilize that for the photos he's taking. I could not notice a very large difference in ProRAW versus the regular photo mode.
You're not getting those in the Photos app.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I mostly view my photos, is the Photos app. So I'm a pleb with when it comes to the camera. The other thing I noticed is, you know, I actually take a lot of videos with my phone because all the videos on the EV channel are now shot on iPhone because I'm filming in the car. And I use it for work, but as soon as I'm done with the video, I delete it because I don't need that raw footage anymore once it's posted. So the last like non-video that I needed for YouTube, you know, that I can delete right away because it's work stuff, the last picture I took was on September 5th. And it was like September 15th, 16th when I was looking through. I was like, just in my daily, like, casual life, I don't take that many pictures. I'm not taking a ton of videos and photos. So I don't get to really have that excuse of, well, this is my work camera, so I need the work camera to be as good as possible. Because when I took videos, I tried, for the unboxing video, I took the first recording on the ultra wide and the first recording on the main sensor and everything, and I was like, I don't pick up a big discernible difference, or if there is a difference, YouTube compression ruins it anyway. To the point that I can't justify this expense as, well, this helps make my videos better. I don't think it really does. It, if anything, eats into my margins, I guess you could say, of how the channel performs. Of like, because I don't think a lot of YouTubers think that way. They just think of how well can my channel perform, or how much can I make in a particular month. But they just kind of buy all the new tech and buy all this equipment, and that's just expenses. When in reality, your tech that you buy, or your equipment, or your expenses dictate how profitable, or what your take home is, basically. If you decide that in order for my business to thrive, I need to buy a certain amount of equipment here, a certain amount of equipment there, but that means you only took home, you know, a fraction of what you could have if you decided to get by with less equipment, then that ultimately dictates how profitable the business is. So yeah, I was, after that experience yesterday and finding out that I couldn't even tell I was checking the wrong phone for the camera features, I was like, Drew, that's probably a good indication that you could keep this phone. It's not like we're going to be in financial trouble if we keep the 14 Pro Max. Like, we can swing it, but am I going to appreciate it and be like, oh, I'm so glad I got the 14? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to forget that I got the new iPhone within a matter of weeks, and then I'm going to use... And I love the dynamic island, but after 24 hours, I found myself trying to come up with use cases to make it do things. Because just like Nick said, he already got used to it, and it is gimmick world. It's a cool gimmick. Gimmicks are not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm glad it's there. And sure,
cinematic mode and portrait mode are gimmicks because it's all software, but they're phenomenal gimmicks. I love cinematic and portrait mode, but they're gimmicks.
They're cool gimmicks. Sometimes gimmicks are what makes an iPhone now, but or any phone purchase justified. But
Memojis are gimmicks, but nobody.
Oh yeah. Thank God we got rid of that, or we stopped trying.
No, we didn't. Hold on. Let me fix that. Let's just prove it in the group chat here.
He's gonna do Animoji. Oh
Where
God.
is Animoji? Where's the button?
Exactly.
No one knows where.
Exactly.
Exactly.
When was the last? Everyone, be honest. When was the last time you used an Animoji for anything?
I used it when we did our podcast and we screen recorded our FaceTime call.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We started it, bloop, and I was like, "Oh," and we
Isn't
did
it
a
an
podcast.
iMessage thing?
It should
I don't know,
be.
Nick.
Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea.
I literally don't know. I just
I don't know
searched
what
the
you're talking
iMessage
about.
app. I just
have
searched
no
the
idea what you're
iMessage
talking
app
about.
store for Animoji, and it didn't
You're
come
funny.
up. And
So while Nick is troubleshooting that, how do you feel about the Apple Watch? I know how you feel about the 8. We all, please.
No one should buy
we all
the 8.
feel
Never
we all
buy
feel
the 8.
the same about the 8.
Yeah. But how do you feel about the Ultra?
I'm sorry. Should you say, should woman buy the 8?
What?
Because it has the ovulation alerts. Like, is that worth it? Like, would you say a woman?
I
You
would
want a
ask my
pregnant
wife right now, but she just started taking a shower. They have app trackers. I know she uses an app tracker.
Excuses.
So
Just go in there. Honey, we're recording. We need to know. Should she? No, I'm kidding. I was kidding. Don't do it. Oh God, no, I was kidding. She's gonna be so mad if you do that.
she'll be like,
Like, speaking of pregnant.
Yeah.
I love another thing I just wanted to throw on the record that I'm noticing in the first 24 hours is I like Dynamic Island. I don't know if I like the pill. Those are two different things to me.
Okay, break that up. Is it the what is it for you?
It's that it cuts deeper into content, and when I'm watching YouTube videos, I do notice it, even on 16:9, like, or even when I'm just doing something in portrait mode in Discord, like, it sits up there and it's noticeably deeper than the icons on the side in the ear. It's noticeably a little bit lower than what the notch used to be, and I love the island when it's doing things, when it's adjusting. Those animations are so cool. They're so well integrated. They're satisfying. The AirPods or the AirDrop or the timers or whatever you're doing up there. It's cool when it's moving. But in my workflow, just in how I use my iPhone, I notice it's not often moving. I'm not usually, I'm not typically listening to music all that too much straight off the phone. I'm not usually running too many timers because we have speakers for that. And I AirDrop occasionally, but it's usually pretty fast. So, and my battery's so good, even on the 13, that I rarely get the low battery pop-up. So when it's just sitting there, it feels like it's cutting in a bit more than I'm comfortable with. And maybe I'd get used to it. I'm sure a lot of people out there probably are already used to it. But
maybe it'll get optimized. Apps will adjust the way they adjust it for the full screen display with the iPhone 10. Maybe apps will adjust, but then it's like I
like to embrace the notch on YouTube a lot when I'm on my 13. And maybe I've had the notch for so long I'm just used to it now. But when I embrace the notch, it's part of the bezel. It doesn't feel
it's not a separate
now it's detached, so it feels like
it has
okay,
that little piece of stuff happening between.
They call it the retina river.
Are you serious?
River.
Well, I don't know who it was. Someone had all these ocean themed names. There's the Dynamic Island.
Gosh.
There's the they had
I
something
love that.
ocean.
I thought you were serious. Oh my God!
Someone had a name for it. They said the little home bar at the bottom is the diving board.
I love it.
I
love it. Well, the Retina River takes you out of the immersion, if you were to call it that. And
I mean, if the island wasn't there, yeah, it would be a notchless, borderless phone, which would be incredible. That would be really nice, and I'm sure we'll eventually get to that point. But because we're still in this compromise zone, when I embrace the pill on a YouTube video, and of course it's not an island at that point because it's not doing anything, it's just this big black spot that is now detached from the border. It's no longer a part of it, which for me mentally just does something a little bit differently. And again, maybe this is just I need to get used to it thing. I probably would if I looked at it all day. But at least in the first 24 hours, I'm kind of like, you're kind of hanging out a lot, aren't you? You're always there. You're always just looking there, sitting there, and it's kind of deep. Judging me, letting me know it's a 14, and I'm sure that in the future they'll reduce that pill or eliminate it, and then it'll be very obvious when you have the older iPhone again. So yeah, like it's this roller coaster of I don't care about the eye hole. Never mind, Dynamic Island is amazing. I love the Dynamic Island. Now I have it. Actually, I don't love it as much as I thought I would. You know, it's this weird like roller coaster of opinion. And I'll go over all this in the review after I've had it. Maybe I'll get used to it after a week or two. But there's definitely things I got a lot wrong about the product. I think probably what I've loved the most so far, though, is the brightness and the border slimming down. Those are pleasant surprises. And I appreciate that they've made it more repairable. That's something we haven't brought up.
Is it just the 14s or the 14 Pros as well?
Both. All
Good.
the 14s. They've added like this extra plate to the back so that you can remove the back glass and access components.
That's where all the volume from my SIM tray went.
Yeah,
I've been trying to figure out, since they removed the SIM tray on my phone, but not on the European phones. What do they get? What do I get that they don't? And as far as I can tell, nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's
like, so then why did you remove it, Apple?
A lot of people were like, I'd enjoy it more if I got something out of it. Courage.
That's why they
Courage.
Courage.
Yeah, I think eventually there will be advantages to only eSIM. We're just not experiencing them yet because they're doing this hybrid launch. But once they know that all models don't have physical SIM, they could probably get away with better battery or something. But the other thing that makes me want to keep my 13 Pro Max is, ironically, they made this easier to repair, which is cool, but it costs more to replace the battery for all 14s. It's $99 for a battery replacement.
Nope.
Interesting.
Whereas on the 13 Pro Max, which has a larger battery physically, it's $69 instead of $99. So that made me think, if I turn into this, I'm not a upgrade every year type of guy. I want to kind of go all in. Like, once I get past the 1 year mark, I'm like, well, why stop here? You know, let's see how long I can keep this going.
It's the new high.
I know a lot of people
You get addicted to it.
I didn't buy the new iPhone. Whew. Wow, I'm alive.
To sit here with you guys post Apple event and have nothing to physically present to you is weird, but it's freeing. It feels freeing. Yeah. It's the best way.
Well, I'm glad you're getting the AirPods Pro too. I'm glad there was something for you. And to answer your question, I love the Ultra. I think the Ultra is great. I think it's the Cybertruck of watches. Yeah. I think it's the I
agree. That's
ugly.
A good I like
it's
that.
ugly and it's bulky, but it's functional and it like beats everybody else. So I admire the Cyber watch.
And
basically.
It's pretty cheap.
It's.
I mean, I was expecting it to be like $1,000. It's like $800.
So was I.
I was like 12 or 11. Yeah, something. 4 digits.
It's not cheap, but it's pleasantly surprising how they priced it. Like, it's not a cheap watch by any means, but for the Garmin watches it's going up against, like, I love it, and I think it makes far more sense than the Apple Watch Edition, which I feel like no one was buying. And now I think a ton of people are going to buy the Ultra, but do I have a need for it? No, I can't justify it. And also, Marquez said something that really stood out to me of just like, when you go to a nicer venue or something and you're just, an Apple Watch kind of blends in. It works with a suit. It works at like a dress up event. The Ultra kind of has this Pip-Boy, bulky, ugly kind of, it's big on people's wrists from what I can see. Also, just as much as I love it, it's ugly. I just have to, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it is ugly. It's like it's intentionally
I'm ugly.
designed the way it
That's not a bad
is.
thing.
I know. This is not the pot calling the kettle black there, Drew.
Yeah.
It is.
Drew,
No, I'm saying it's ugly in the best possible way, but it is still ugly. Like when I see the comparisons on the website, the bezel thickness of the Ultra is that thing is just bulky. Like, and I love the Series 7 design, and that carries on to the 8, but the 8 is dead to me. That doesn't count. Just the pixels spilling over the edge of the 7 is gorgeous. And the simplicity of, I mean, some people want the buttons to protrude and stick out. I'm personally more of a, like, integrate the button. I like that the side button is flush with the chassis. I prefer this design, so I'm just keeping the 7, but I appreciate and I'm glad the Ultra exists. And I did order one. I am going to try it. I'll review the Ultra. Not the SE2 or the Series 8. I don't need to. I can review those already. Guys, I got the Series 8.
Yeah, the Series 3 is finally
Whoa.
gone. Thank God.
Finally.
Yeah,
Series
it'd
3
take
can
a while
die.
to do that.
Take that out packages.
That took far too long. But I didn't get to hear, Nick, do you have any need or desire for AirPods Pro 2, or are you all out on AirPods?
This is my 4th pair of AirPods Pro. 1.
Fourth? Whoa.
Yeah.
didn't
I'd
know you
only
made
know
it
that
to 4.
because iOS names them number and then increments how many you had. So I've had AirPods Pro, AirPods Pro 2, AirPods Pro 3, AirPods Pro 4.
Does everybody else have the living room too because they set up their TV several times, or is that just me?
No, that's just you.
Okay.
You're weird like that. Yeah, I have. That's the only current pair that's complete. I have another pair that I'm just missing one of the pods from. I lost that in the dunes a while back, last February.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have a pair of AirPods 4, just like the regular ones. Which one are those? AirPods 3? Just the old-fashioned long stem ones.
2.
Whatever.
Two.
The latest generation of those ones. The MagSafe
Okay.
ones. 2? Is that just 2? I got it more recently.
I don't think the
it
2's ever got
has
MagSafe, but they got
Yeah, they
wireless
did.
charging.
The case?
No, it has MagSafe. It clicks.
Yeah, the case got updated.
The AirPods 3 did, not the AirPods 2.
No, it's
think-
whatever the AirPods that have the regular stemmed AirPods that have MagSafe. I have a pair of those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Let me
it's just a
check
good-
this.
Yeah, okay. It definitely clicks.
So you don't need the Pros 2?
Well,
second gen?
okay, but I don't need the Pros 2 right now. But next time, and these guys are about 50% worn out, I'd say. So whenever these are toasted, I will get the Pro 2s. So
Okay.
I will upgrade to them eventually, but there's no rush right now. And
Gotcha.
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not looking forward to any of the features of them. It's just I'm just gonna get the new one.
Not even volume control? Straight off
That's
the
cool.
pod?
Whatever. It'll be nice, but I'm not gonna line up for it and waste $250 right now.
Would you charge the new AirPods Pro 2 off of your Apple Watch puck? Because they can do that now.
No. I
Would you
would
ping
not,
them
no.
in the sand?
Maybe. That is how I lost one of the pairs. The whole
Okay.
case just disappeared one day, so it's probably out
So-
there somewhere.
Just to recap, you're not getting the Ultra, but you are getting a Series 7 steel.
It
Or
will
the-
definitely be a Series 7 and possibly an Ultra. Or
You
possibly
think?
an
Okay.
Ultra.
Maybe an Ultra.
We'll see.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it really depends on how much
Nick
the
wants
Series
his
7
Cybertruck so
depreciates.
bad that he will compromise and get the Ultra instead.
Exactly. After you said Cybertruck, I'm like, oh, I need this watch now. I'm also worried about this watch, strangely. I don't know why.
Oh my
Just
God.
all of a sudden worried
He's
about
getting
it.
worried about it.
I just want someone on the podcast to have the Ultra, so that's why I'm rooting for you to get the Ultra.
Okay.
So I want to know
For
a
me to
guy
waste
with an
$900
Ultra.
bucks.
So, in regards
I mean,
to,
I'll-
like...
Yeah.
Yeah, and TBH, I think I probably it would fit my lifestyle pretty well. You know, I'm outside a lot most of the day.
Battery
every
life
day,
alone
and
is a great
yeah,
reason.
battery life
to
would
get
be
it.
amazing. That waypoint thing, actually, I could think of a few times I might use that out there hiking in the
Yeah.
dunes, just setting like waypoints of like where cameras are and stuff and whatever.
And they brought that to the
I think
Series
it could be
7,
useful.
for the record.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
No way.
laid off so many things on the
No
watch
way.
that they tried to
No
say was
way.
exclusive. Like I was laughing so hard on the Series 8 when they're like, we're introducing a new low power mode that can stretch battery life to 36 hours. Coming to Series 4 and later. And I was like, wait, why are you saying that just with the... You could have said that with watchOS 9 at Dub.
Because
But they
Series 8
intentionally
has the
chose-
same chip as the Series 5. No, 6. Series 6.
Yeah, Series 6 and onward have like basically the same chip. They just rebrand it.
Does the
And-
Ultra have a better chip?
Yes.
No.
I mean, it has...
Yes? Mixed.
It's still... Processor-wise, I believe they're all still the S8 chip. But
Wow.
I think the Ultra has improved GPS wavelength. Or
Yeah,
something.
dual band.
Yeah.
One of
So it has
yeah.
some internal upgrades, but I don't think the processor itself is any better. I think it's the same
Okay.
processor.
Well,
The whole
Whatever.
None of
I
them
don't
have
know.
5G.
they don't have 5G. Oh,
Thank God.
Thank
It's
God.
it's a pro or
Thank God.
a con, depending on who you ask.
Is that a bug or a feature?
probably
They'll have
both.
something for the Series 9. That's for sure.
Right?
Some people.
Oh gosh.
So
that's totally
you
what's
talk
gonna be.
about fashion statements and stuff like that with the watch, but some people unironically like wearing Yeezys to these Met Galas.
True.
Nick, a Yeezy is the shoe that Kanye West designs, and they're
Oh,
very.
I've seen
you
them.
met?
Oh, okay.
I've seen them.
just throwing it out there, buddy.
Kanye West
Thanks, buddy.
is a rapper. That-
So
I've seen him.
yeah, Kanye West is a rapper.
He's nice.
Yeah. So, sorry. There's so many layers here that I can't even. Anyway, so
Better we don't peel that onion.
yeah. But some people like big, bulky, in-your-face things, and likewise to Yeezys. Some people like the very big, circular watches that are just like abstract. They have you see all the dial. And
The
all the,
bedazzled with all the
Yeah.
The
gemstones
Garmins.
on it.
they're all
The
about
garments
it.
with diamonds on it. It's
Yeah.
like a
I would
Garmin
not
fitness
be
watch
surprised.
with like gems on it.
Put that on the Ultra. I'm calling
That's
it
next
now.
year. It's Ultra 2.
This is me putting it on the
Johnny
record.
Ive comes back and he's like, "We have come back to introduce a new product. This product will include gems. This is made out of 100% diamond."
Aluminium somehow.
No, diamond.
When designing the new Ultra, we wanted to make sure.
Solid gold.
I will say, on record, that the Ultra is going to be the new fashion icon. The cheaper Hermes,
Hermes.
whatever you call it. The cheaper.
Hermes.
I know Hermes. I got. The doctor said I got Hermes. What?
Which they still
He was complimenting my watch. What are you
they
thinking
still
about?
sell, by the way.
Which they still sell.
They do.
But how many people? I actually had a conversation on Twitter about this the other day. This is something that Drew and I had talked about. I don't remember if it was on the show or just we're just one-offing it here, but the first Apple Watch edition served its purpose. It is a collector's
That's right.
item. It is exclusive. People want it, and it held its value. And I Googled it as recent as a couple days ago, and I posted what they're going for on eBay or whatever, and it actually serves its purpose, even though the software is. It was never about the software. It's this exclusivity. When designing the exclusivity, so in the same notion, but in a more modern flair to it, the Apple Watch Ultra is going to have the same desirability as an Apple Watch edition. So much so that people have like they wanted the ceramic for so long, myself included. I really did want one, and I can forego a ceramic watch for an Apple Watch edition because it is so Cybertruck, because it is a status symbol. It's ugly on purpose, and it's meant to be popping in your face. There's only one color for a reason, on purpose.
Brutalism, I think, is the design philosophy.
That's right. It's meant to be aggressive and a rebel without a cause and a state, all that stuff. And whereas like the Apple Watch edition, the Gen 1 was very elegant, very Rolex, very actual 24 karat gold or 18 karat gold. It had this luxury to it. This one's not luxury, but it is definitely status symbol. And I would not be surprised you're going to see people getting that watch the same way people rock AirPods Pro out and about in the environment, or maybe even the big old bulky iPhones, the bigger ones. It's a preference about the size and stuff like that. But Apple Watch not Apple Watch, but AirPods are a fashion statement as well, which is why we're only going to get white. It's meant to stand out and be right here. Like you see this before you see my piercing, and that's by design. Likewise, the Apple Watch is going to be. It's meant to. The Ultra is going to be ultra in your face, and I just.
It's like, hi, I'm Nick. I own an Apple Watch Ultra. I'm vegan. It's one of those.
You can't wait.
And I do CrossFit.
Can't wait for the VR goggles. Hi, I'm Nick.
How would you know if somebody has an Apple Watch Ultra? They'll tell you. Hi, I'm Nick. Look at my watch.
I own an Apple Watch. Look at my watch.
Do you know what I noticed?
I have a pitch for Nick as to why I think he should spend the extra money on the Ultra and not get a Series 7 refurbished. And I'm gonna spin it to make it sound.
But what if? Wait, hold on. What if I was interested in buying your Series 7 refurbished?
That's fine. That's fine. You can do.
Okay, but you're still gonna pitch against that. Okay, got it. All right,
I'll pitch
ahead.
against that. I like my Series 7, but if you want it, that's fine. I could I can get by without it. But you like to not upgrade your watch every year. You've made that pretty clear.
Yes,
You're not
this is true.
I'm not buying generationally. And what is motivating you? Nothing's really inherently that wrong with your Series 4, except the battery is not getting you through the day, and it's deteriorated a lot. And you could buy a Series 7, and it would fix that for a while, and it would look pretty, and I like the look of the Series 7 as well. But in another 3-4 years, you're going to be in the exact same predicament of it doesn't last me through the day anymore because the battery health has deteriorated. The Apple Watch Ultra has basically twice the battery life, which means that even with deterioration, I think it will still easily get through the day. And that means you won't have to replace it as frequently as you've replaced your previous Apple Watches. So it costs a little bit more, yes, but you've already said like you could use some of the extra GPS wavelengths that it's compatible with. I'm sure you could find a use for your action button on the side and stuff.
When I go scuba diving.
When you go scuba diving, you're exposed to the elements. You take it in hot environments, and I'm sure
I'm
harsh environments, and it has that chassis wrapped around the glass to protect it a lot more than a Series 7 would be protected. But just for the battery life alone, that's going to allow it to, I think, last for many, many years, and that can be like just, I'm good Apple Watch wise. I bite the bullet here, but then I'm solid. I have battery that can last multiple days for years and years and years. Whereas the Series 7, you're kind of buying a stopgap, something to hold you over for a shorter period of time. And especially if you're using like low power mode on the Ultra, that's going to be getting you almost like a week-long battery life. But optimized battery charging and stuff, it'll be preserved, and I think would last a lot longer. That's my pitch. That's
I love your pitch, Drew. The problem is it's very effective. Yeah, no, I definitely think the reason why I'm upgrading right now is because the battery life is not great, and that did run through my mind when I saw 36 hours battery life. I might never need to upgrade this watch again. If it gets 50% battery health degradation, it's still going to last all day long. It's going to be an 18-hour watch.
50% battery health, and it'll be as good as day one. Series 7.
Exactly, right?
the
So
watch
that
will
is a
look
good argument
normal.
right there.
The watch will look normal on Nick's wrist.
That's
This
true.
is also true. The series, what is this? 440.
You want the biggest display
44
possible,
millimeter?
right?
Exactly. Yeah, like
49
always
millimeter.
more display, more
Biggest
better, or
display.
whatever I said way back in the day.
Yeah.
Biggest display's better.
This is the biggest.
Which
Bigger's always better.
which kind of brings me into my next topic here, which is something that Scott Stowell is going to be very excited to hear me say. I'm thinking about getting another large screened Apple product.
He's gonna get the MacBook Pro. Called it. Called it.
You want my
I knew
MacBook?
you'd come around, Nick.
I don't want your MacBook Pro, Drew. Ain't nobody need 8 terabytes of local storage.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I may or may not have like 4 or 5 tabs open right now between different.
How's your little
specs.
M1 doing? And why
My
no
little
M2?
M1's Okay, that's a good question. Very fair all around. It's it sucks to say, but 4 USB-C ports would have been nice. Like right
I'm
now.
with
Who are
you.
you? Who are
I
you?
know, right? Like right now, running this show, I'm using the headphone jack, 2 USB-C ports, an adapter for power, and a USB-A port. And it's like...
You had to
I don't
leave the
know.
show to justify keeping it because
pretty
that-
much, yeah.
you don't need
because
as many
I get
ports if
so
you're
much
not
hate. I would
recording.
get so much hate if I was on the show regularly and I had this ugly computer that I don't know. Also, the display is starting. I'm to the point
Say
with
it.
my photography where like the display is important. And pictures, I've noticed
it.
pictures look significantly different between my MacBook's display and when I airdrop them after I export them onto my iPhone, which has, a much better display. And
Right.
so sometimes I'm like, it'd be nice to have a better display here, which is, honestly, I think power-wise, I could get by with the new MacBook Air. And, that is powerful enough with the M2 or the new MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar, with the M2 chip. But again,
'cause
it's
you do love the Touch Bar, and they're still selling a Touch Bar.
I still do love the Touch Bar, and
You
that's
mean the
something I'm
MacBook
sad
SE?
about. The MacBook,
Yeah.
ouch, MacBook Pro SE, ouch.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
You'll come around.
Well, there's some
My,
good sales.
There are exactly that's part of it. I found some pretty good deals so far, and I'm like, these are not
Although
too
there's
bad, and
rumored
they're
to
not
be a
supposed
refresh.
to be upgraded. When's the next refresh rumored? It's not till next year, right?
Well, I thought next year, but a lot of people keep doubling down that there's going to be a new 14 and 16 inch this October, which I think
really?
is still too soon. But people that have proven to be right keep saying that it's happening
Okay,
this
well
year.
that's really good to know. So I'll wait a few months. That's good to know. I did not know.
You're
One
like,
month.
I justified
Thank you,
waiting
Drew.
now.
Yeah. You can
I
wait.
can justify
3
waiting even
weeks.
longer. See, I might make it to January.
To
Scott
be
said
fair-
I could make it to January.
I think they'll cost more or the same, and I
Yeah.
don't think the M2 has proven to be much better. So you could probably still go refurbished M1 or on sale M1 Pro, and I think it would still be worth it. I don't think you'd be losing out on much by not getting the refreshed 14 inch or
And
whatever.
and the other thing I should bring up as well with this, it's not just my computer. I'm looking to upgrade. My roommate is also looking to upgrade as well, and we film together and shoot together a lot, and we're doing some more trips and traveling, and we have all summer, and it's been a little cumbersome. He's been studio based on a Mac Mini, an M1 Mac Mini, and recently he's gotten a Intel 16-inch MacBook Pro 2019, 64 gigs of RAM, to 4 terabytes of SSD. It's a really nice spec, but it's Intel, right? I know Drew's over there having a seizure. And then he also has the same spec 13-inch MacBook Pro M1, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs of RAM that I have.
Wow.
But we're both kind of looking at like maybe switching that up because, I mean, between the two of us, we have 2 Mac Minis, 2 13-inch MacBook Pros, and 1 16-inch MacBook Pro. And if we
Right.
turn all those into 2 laptops that we would use frequently,
Yeah.
I think that would be smart. But
Are you gonna
anyway,
upgrade your-
so 16s.
Oh.
I know for sure he needs a 16. Like I don't think it's like what $300 difference or something. Might as well just get the 16. He'll use it. I know. I'm kind of on the fence about it still. I could go 14 or 16. I do like the portability of the 14, but the 16 is nice too, because
The battery life to me is like the only reason, and if you just want a bigger screen. But
True,
the chip
true.
is the same in both.
I can tell you
Yeah.
from personal just usage, being away for long, like a week at a time even, the 14-inch, I went unplugged. I forgot the numbers I told. I think I said on the podcast, or I definitely told Drew. I went a whole week without charging my Mac. Now, I wasn't doing Lightroom or any of that stuff.
I
so
guarantee you that won't be the case for me.
I know, but where I'm getting at is that I went over a week and I still had so much battery left that if I left at 100, I came back at like 46 or 36, something like that, and I was using it every day, and I was checking emails, watching YouTube, social media, and blah 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 blah, text messages and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
where I'm getting at is that the efficiency of these chips with the M1 Pro or M1 Max are phenomenal. Like this is important. I have in my opinion, I have the best laptop. Period. It's small enough that's portable. The 16-inch is objectively more battery, so you get more display and everything like that. But it is cumbersome and it is heavy. I have the best of everything, and I don't feel like I compromised.
See, for a mini-sized person like you, the 14 is probably the right size. For a Pro Max Plus XDR-sized person like me, 16-inch. I had a 15-inch MacBook. Yeah, Drew, you know that one. I'd had the 15-inch MacBook Pro for a while, and
using
it's the same size.
I'm not
19
talking about
inch.
the size. What I'm getting at, I'm trying to emphasize to you the chip that
Okay.
you
I don't need a super powerful chip. The M1
Mm.
M1 has been fine for me. So I would probably just do like an M1 Pro.
But
I probably would want more RAM.
I'm using the M1 Pro, and that's that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to emphasize is the chip and the efficiency of that chip and what you get done with it. I have not lagged, bugged, crashed, nothing with the M1 Pro. M1 Pro. All these damn prefixes. The suffix.
I know, it's getting
too many
confusing.
of them. I have not crashed on anything. Nothing's timed out on Logic, on my live streams, on doing all the. I have OBS, Discord, and tabs up the wazoo right now. I have all these things going with running betas too, and everything runs like butter. Where I'm getting at is, while saving money and making a pitch to you, you do not need an M2, and you do not need the highest end M1. And
I know that.
I know you've been using your M1, just base M1, all this time. The M1 Pro has been good enough, and your ability of what you need your Mac to do, whether you get the 14 or the 16-inch, the MacBook Pro, M1 Pro, or Max is the best laptop. Period. Not MacBook, not laptop. Period. Better than any Air, better than anything else. This, I know you're gonna come around, and you are. It's not an if, it's a when. I said this last year, and I still believe it. You're gonna come around. You'll see past any notches and ports and stuff like that, because you're gonna realize the utility of having.
I love
that
the
there
notch.
for
For the record, I love the notch.
Notch is great.
Absolutely adore the notch.
Gross.
I love it
You're
too.
like, where's the touch bar? Even the touch bar. Don't get the
You mean-
13-inch touch bar one.
You mean the static peninsula?
Yeah.
No, that's the touch bar. I don't know. What
If I can go back and do it again, right
Whatever.
now, in hindsight, I wouldn't change anything. If I lost this MacBook today, I would get a certified refurbish.
I would change
this-
everything, to be frank.
You would change everything?
What would you change, Drew?
I would have gotten, if I could do it all over again, I would have gotten the silver 16-inch M1 Pro.
M1 Pro.
Yeah. M1
4
Max
terabyte?
was kind of an accident. No, I'd still get the 8. I'm using it. I'm feeling it.
Okay, Drew. If you want to,
I have 2 terabytes available.
Computer, wow. If you want to unload your computer, I will make an offer here. It's good for the rest of this podcast. I will give you $2,000 for your MacBook Pro.
Okay.
I will Apple Pay cash you the money
fair.
right now.
It seems like a
And
good
that's
price.
the end of our show.
Very
I guess
good
that
price.
Went out there.
He's like, sold, and then he sends me Louise's old DVD drive MacBook Pro.
That would be really funny, actually. Just get that in the mail.
And be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Why is there a big hole in the side?
Well, welcome to the dark side, Nick.
I don't know. I'm not here yet. I've been flirting with the dark side.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
Anakin Skywalker. I haven't killed the younglings yet, but I definitely
I do
have
not
murdered
fear the
Mace
dark
Windu.
side.
No, you'll come.
I am
You'll
what
come.
remains.
Hey, yo. Don't worry about that. I'll always come.
All right.
Yeah, so that's
Final thoughts.
that's the current predicament.
Okay, so Nick's debating buying his worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Randy's definitely getting AirPods Pro 2, but just testing an iPhone like me. And
There's just hearing
Nick loves
you
the camera.
guys
Stamp of
even
approval.
kind of talk about it. I mean, it's the sunk cost fallacy as well. Like this is pay. I don't want to go through the process. I did so many swap of stuff this year. I don't want to sell any more stuff. I just want to take it easy. I want to break.
There's
from
some
all
little
this stuff.
dings on my 13 as well that I know don't bother me, but would bother a potential buyer. That I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't feel like going through this. I know I wouldn't recoup all my losses, so I'd probably sell it for like $900, and then that would make the 14 $300 upgrade, basically.
Yeah,
And
it's
$300.
It's not worth my time. More than the money,
Yeah.
it's just not worth my time.
Sure.
Final thought. iPhone
Okay.
has really leaned into mimicking Apple Watch, and I'm not mad. You have always on display that mimics the Apple Watch. You have the wallpapers that mimic Apple Watch with how you can tuck the time behind whatever subject's there. I'm not mad. I like what they're trying to blur the lines with those two, and that relationship
eSIM. MagSafe. Yeah.
I'm not mad about any of that. Those two have that symbiotic relationship. But
Yeah. That's good.
what does that mean? No, I'm not actually looking for an answer. Just something to think about next time. What does that mean for iPad?
Nothing.
Nothing. Like iPad's not getting anything.
It's all
iPad.
Yeah.
iPad has tried to be like MacBook Lite, and it's not working.
No way. Really?
And
Please.
It's
Tell me about it.
MacBook
I've never
Lite,
heard of
but
this
it costs
before.
more.
When an iPhone tries to be like an Apple Watch, it's downscaling some stuff. It's taking the better things of the weaker product, and it's emphasizing it. But the iPad is not being downscaled from the better product, which is the Mac. It is trying to be its own thing, and I think the proof within the software shows for itself that iPhone is the prominent software, and it's borrowing things from Apple Watch, and it inspires Apple Watch stuff right there. You don't have that same stream, this road, this map that's doing that with Mac and iPad. iPad is still to the hip iOS, and it's not borrowing anything from the watch or the phone. So it's connected to the hip, but it's not doing the same strategy as the phone and the watch are doing. It's a clean, smooth strategy that's happening with the. And I'm just talking interface here. The iPad just. There's nothing they're gonna say next month when they do new iPads that's gonna be like, that's the one. There's no way. There's nothing that's gonna happen, and until they get their priorities right about what the iPad should do, and I'm not even saying it needs to be a replacement anymore, but then actually, you have an M1 chip, and you're gonna give me a stage manager? Like that blows my mind. I don't understand why it's
How
not,
lame is that?
How lame is that? Why doesn't
How
it incorporate
lame is that?
the same strategy and take some cues from the Mac, or at least let things from the Mac roll down to the iPad? Have something there the way Apple Watch and iPhone are doing this now. The dance is clean here, but that's my thought.
Yeah, it was
That's a good thought.
amazing. We went like 2 hours without even mentioning iPad at all. Even like
I refuse to let this show in without talking about it.
On that note, we appreciate you for tuning in, and we appreciate you, Nick, for coming on
Nick.
after all this time. It was good to see you again.
Thanks
Good
for
to
having
hear
me
your
back.
Ecosystem updates, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.